Welcome to Riverbend Talon on WBGZ. Brought to you by the Halpin Music Company.
And brought to you by Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance. I'm Dennis.
And I'm Pigpen, and it is late.
It is, but we're here.
I'm half drunk, but I'm here.
We did more pregame for the postgame.
We had a lot more pregame time, which means the game's going to be sloppy.
Yeah.
Whew.
Oh, it's Agents of the Free Night.
It is Agents of the Free Night, and it has been a while because apparently last time they were in, I was a wee bit handsy with Mr. Kevin Hand. With a name like that, I thought he would appreciate it. So, yeah, we haven't had
sit in between you two.
So we haven't had Agents of the Free in for a while because I was a bit handsy with the guys. So now but we got them in now, and so I'm going to introduce them one at a time. We got Brian Keith sitting next to me. What's happening, Mr. Brian? How you living?
Oh, I'm just happy to be alive right now.
Happy to be here? Just it doesn't even matter, right?
I'm always happy. I kind of wish I was drunk as you were. I'd be happier, but.
I saw you drinking out in the park. You were doing shooters at Jameson out in the street.
I'm not even old enough to purchase alcoholic beverages. Yeah.
You make alcohol. Do you not?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
No comment.
Okay, there we go.
No.
I think it's legal. I think it's fine. Anyway, let's move on. Kevin Hand.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, Kevin Hand, the guy that I promised to keep my hands to myself like Georgia Satellites over here.
Good evening. You look ravishing this evening, by the way.
I am half drunk and all the way randy.
That makes two of us.
My good buddy Kevin Hand. Good to see you, buddy.
You too.
And next to you, Mr. Jim, the Fox.
Good evening.
He's the looker of the band. You can't tell on the radio, but if you watch the YouTube video, you'll see why his guitar playing's pretty good, but he's the eye candy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
That's why I got the job.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's spicy, that's for sure.
Yeah, and
We didn't know he could play guitar. Until
Right.
but he looked good in a skirt now.
Sweet tail, and he can play the guitar.
We were going to get Samantha Fish, but Jim just looks so much better in a skirt than her. And finally, Mr. Wade Neal. How you doing, Mr. Wade?
I'm doing all right. I was hoping I was going to get one of those cool names like the Fox, the Pansy Hand.
Mr. Wade, Neal, and Bob. No.
No, I said a cool name.
Too much, too soon.
That sucks.
Ours, as some of the kids call you, Mr. Neal. Mr. Neal, is my paint dry?
Let's go with that.
My paint dry.
That's a euphemism if you don't know. You have to lean into the mic a wee bit for the folks in radio land. Oh, just a wee little bit there.
Yeah, they can't see you. You're too far away.
I haven't said anything important yet, so.
How you living there, Mr. Wade Neal? You doing all right?
Doing all right.
Doing all right.
You He's the only one wearing pants.
Loving life. Oh, yeah. I missed the memo.
Yeah.
The pants situation.
Not too late.
Well, Jim's wearing a skirt. We covered
again.
that already. We covered
Again.
that.
I don't think that. Yeah,
So, wow. I guess we'll have to mention the guy missing in action here.
Oh, yes, Doug Bush, you're right.
Yeah, I don't want to mention him because me and him don't get along. I said it before. The reason he's not really here is because my family and his family have a long-standing feud. The Bush family and the Bush family have a feud going way, way back.
They don't forget anything.
No, Hatfields and McCoy's got nothing on us.
I actually don't think Doug's sick. It's either you or he's embarrassed of us, and I think that's the reason that he wouldn't show up. And I don't blame him.
Off topic, you ever feel bad for the guy who lived between the Hatfields and McCoys? That had to be a rough place to live. You know, there was one guy who lived right between them, right? It's not really a fact, but I just assume.
Unless the guy sold ammo. that guy made a good living there, you know?
Truth is, they all got along well till he thought, I could take over this whole block if I get rid of these guys.
All he did was tick these people off. But
yeah. Anyway, that's Hatfields and McCoys.
These are random thoughts that I have sometimes.
I have more useless thoughts in my head than useful ones, that's for sure. So you guys, I understand that there's a recording process that's been going on with you fellas.
Yes.
Yeah, we're about year 20.
Right. You mentioned it 4 years ago when you were on the show that it was getting started.
We did.
That's true.
Well, you know how it is. I mean, you play music too. I mean, it's hard sometimes to just, I don't know, the stuff just sits out there and floats, and you work on it, and you mess with it, and you don't think you're ever done with it, and
it's hard to get 4 or 5 people in one room at the same time.
Yeah, we couldn't even get Doug here tonight.
Tell it to Earth, Wind, and Fire, man. They had like 18 guys. Our George Clinton, he's got 22 guys in his band. Come on, man. I'm just kidding.
But he's George Clinton,
You got a point, man. Now, but that's true, and as adults, life ebb and flows a lot. Where it's like, hey guys, I know I set up this radio interview, but I'm just too busy to make it, or something like that, happens.
I have to wash my socks tonight. We have to,
I'm going to go get my knees waxed. Can't show up.
I think it is tougher when you're older, because you have stuff, like my washing machine broke the other day. There's things like this. Like when you're young, these are not problems that you have, Like, your children don't understand it, And I have 2 daughters. They're terrible, by the way. They're worst children in the world. But they...
I can vouch. They're terrible.
They're terrible. Hopefully they're not listening. Anyway,
they're not. I'm sure.
No, I'm sure they're not listening. No, but these kids,
worst kids in the world.
They don't. No, they're actually pretty awesome. But but they don't understand those little things like when you think about it's going to be great when I grow up and I'm going to be an adult and I can stay up late and I'm like there's a bunch of crap that goes on with that too. It's not the staying up late's nice, I guess.
Well, usually this time of your life you're staying up late because you can't go to sleep because you're thinking of all
the crap.
Like
what is that noise my car's making?
Exactly.
These are problems, and then when your children have problems like, I didn't do good on a test, and they're crying, and you want to empathize
Strangle
with them, but you're like, this is, honey, life's gonna really kick you in the nuts. But
I'd say that as far as the recording goes, though, where the light's at the end of the tunnel now is.
On this one, I think it is finally,
and the rough mixes sound good already. So
Just got to sprinkle some vocals in, is what I'm told. I think that's happening this Sunday.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I can't make Sunday.
He's going to be up late.
See what I mean?
He'll be up late trying to figure out his problems.
4 years from now, maybe you'll have us back, and we'll discuss, that we're working on this album still. So.
I'm sorry. What are we talking about?
I have no idea.
All I can think about, since he said, well, it's because you're up late thinking about, all the problems, is John Prine's line, an old man sleeps with his conscience, a young man sleeps with his dreams. Like, that's all that's going on in my head now, and I don't even remember who you guys are anymore. So
that's like deep thinking for a Wednesday or whatever day today is.
How can I recreate that?
Is it Wednesday? Is it hump day? No, hump day's
Why do you drive on a parkway and park on a driveway?
Yeah, okay, now we're getting in some Stephen Wright territory
every
right
day
there.
You're married, I suppose. I don't know.
This is actually post hump day Thursday. Is that a thing? Post hump day. That means Tuesday would be pre hump day. That would be awesome. I don't know. I'm just trying to extend the whole hump day thing as long as we can get it to go.
That's a good day.
How many days can we make this happen?
The wonders of live radio.
Is this live? Oh, you're kidding me. I was just getting ready to say let's start for real.
Can we say hump day?
This is Art Farner of Edward Jones bringing you the Daily
I hear a ghost in the machine.
I wish I had headphones on.
Yeah, something weird just went down. Anyway, so the recording process, though, like you say, with the ebb and flow of life, you get busy because your washing machine breaks or because you're up all night thinking about how you wish you would have done things different. I don't know what you're thinking about. You're thinking about something. If only I was a PE teacher instead of an art teacher.
I'm that also.
So all his dreams are fulfilled. He has nothing to think about.
Right? Well,
granted.
Those who can't do teach, and those who can't teach Jim.
That's right. And he's the only Jim that I teach.
Ba-doom-boom. Bring it. So the recording. Let's get back to that because that's. Or actually, should we cover our Thursday? I feel like I've spun off the rails.
Well,
here.
Everything started at like 6:00.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
so
that's true.
We can talk about it, I guess, real quick.
I'm so used to us starting at 6 and needing to do the Thursday stuff. I forgot it's whatever time it is.
We'll do it like this: the sea shanty sing along ends at 9:00.
You better hurry.
You're late.
Cross the line at Fast Eddie's. They probably got a couple hours left.
Yeah.
Karaoke's gonna start at 9:00 at Hiram's Bar.
Perfect.
That's where we're going.
Is that where you're heading? Nice. Nice.
Open mic started at 6 at Baker's and Hale.
I'm hungry. I have to stop by.
Mike's a lucky guy.
Gabe Marshall's going till 10:00 at George's local brew in Jerseyville. Piano Joe, I think he's going till 9 at Prairie Inn.
Better
in
hurry.
Dorsey. And Eric Lysot.
Yeah.
Started at 7 at Deutsch Village Inn.
Haven't heard about Eric for a while. He had an album called Salisbury that I remember him coming out with years ago. He was in a band, too. I can't remember the name of the band now. Sorry, Eric. Anyway.
And I wanted to...
It's been a long time. I haven't seen the guy 10 years, so I don't know.
I definitely wanted to send out some condolences tonight, too. So, Mojo Music, the friends and family of Turk Myers, who passed away since our last show.
Peaceful journey, Turk.
Yes.
Right.
There we go. A moment of silence for Turk.
That was good, yes.
There we go. All right. So, is that our whole Thursday?
That was our Thursday.
That was our Thursday. There you go. All right. So, you want to do Friday, or are we getting back to talking to these guys? Because as near as I can tell, Brian's playing footsie with me over here.
All right. Well, that's not my foot.
Wow. You are impressive.
We can fly through the Friday. Open mic at Ragin' Cajun with Jamie Dunn on Friday nights, 8 o'clock. Shotgun Creek, 8 o'clock at Fast Eddie's Bon Air.
We're going to have those guys on real soon.
Yeah. Jason McAtee Band, 7 o'clock at Baker's and Hale on Friday night. The Trophy Mules at the Outlet at Edisons in Edwardsville, 7 to 10.
Excellent.
Somebody will be at Deutsch. We're not sure who. But the Grand Band, 7 to 10 at George's local brew in Jerseyville.
There we go.
Friday night.
Yeah, that guy, he's good looking, but he can't play guitar.
No talent at
all. I mean, he's up there. He can't even tune the thing, right?
But he's like Jim. If you got the looks, who cares?
Right. Oh, yeah.
He's
who cares?
He's the draw.
I love it when he wears those tight shirts with the V-necks that go down past the belly button.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
like with Jimmy, you're like, well, this song's in a key of E, and he goes, what's a key? It's just, it's cute.
It's cute. Jim, you actually make your own guitars and your own amps, don't you?
No, my brother does the guitars and I do the amps.
You do the amps, right on. Now, what made you decide to do that? Just because you're better than a Marshall, or
because those guys
I think
that
I said
Fox
the last time I'm cheap, so
okay. Now you're talking my language.
No, actually, years and years ago, when I was much younger, I used to, you'd have to pay to have them serviced. You know? And I didn't get real good service, and I didn't know who to go to, so kind of learned how to work on them, and then I ruined one, so then I made one. And that's how that kind of developed.
But in all honesty, how much cheaper? How much did you really? Because you said you said made the comment. Well, I'm cheap, but I know we started to build an amp earlier this year, and buying the good parts to build a solid amp the way you want it.
Cheap, yeah.
It is not cheap by any means.
No,
but
it's not. It's fun.
More
than anything, it's just something to get into, and then you can learn how it works, fix it if it breaks. It's just. I like messing with stuff.
The thing about his equipment when he builds it, though, is that it has this perfect crystal clear tone. No one has his sound.
Yeah.
At all, and it's really, really catchy, and it's very distinct, and I'm kind of jealous of it, really.
Right.
But really, really good at what he does.
Now, did you start trying to model after one? You started with did you buy a chassis and just start with a model to build on, and then
the first one
tweak it?
Was a Fender Champ.
There you go.
From the 80s, a Champ 12. Actually, my brother got that. That was my first tube amp. It was a single 6L6, and I was trying to modify it to make it sound like I wanted to, and it stopped making sound.
Which is a problem. A twin verb.
Yeah, he modified it. Was a no verb. And I had bought an old 54 Deluxe from you remember that music store in Bethalto, Blue Moon?
Yeah.
Music?
Yep.
Yeah, I bought some stuff from him, and I spent more than I should have on that, and that was the amp that I really liked, and so I made a copy of one of those.
Nice.
Measure the components, the stuff in there, and make a clone of it, and then it worked. I couldn't believe it.
And that amplifier, the 54 Champ that he has, he still uses, and it's the loudest little screamer of an amp. It's not the Z28. That's the copy.
Yeah,
that's the Marshall copy. He's actually got a 54 that he doesn't take out of the house too much anymore.
I would have to. What did you say? That it was the Champ model. It's the screamer. Mm-hmm. Okay, and what is it? 20 watt.
No, these are deluxe circuits.
Deluxe.
Tweed deluxe circuits. Those 5E3s that are real common,
Right.
but this is an earlier 5D3, and it's got a little bit different sound in it, but basically
It
the
will
same
melt your
thing.
face.
But yeah, they're only about 18, 20 watts.
See, you ever hear of a Schwartz? May the Schwartz be with you. Gabe Kirkendall is a guy I've been jamming with, playing a Schwartz, and he had a DeVille. DeVille's a nice boutique amp. He had a 20
You had
watt.
one of those, didn't
yeah,
you?
20 watt DeVille.
have
It was
several.
nice. I played through it. It's a nice amp, but it was so loud.
Yeah.
For
It is
a
loud.
20 watt amp, it screams. So he went out and bought a 5 watt Schwartz, and it is the loudest. And it's louder than the 20 watt. I
sir.
swear they scratched the zero off. It's 50 watt. I mean, it's small like a 5 watt amp, but it is the
Yeah.
loudest amp ever. Anyway, the Schwartz be with you. So but that's really neat. Now you make the amps. Your brother makes the guitar.
Yeah, he built me my first one when I was 18, and he's made me 2 of them, and he's helped me modify that cheap Gibson that you usually see me playing, but we converted that over to a right-handed or a left-handed
Yeah.
guitar from being a right-handed one.
He doesn't even know what hand he
that's
plays
He
with.
doesn't know.
That's your gigging guitar now. It's a melody maker, Gibson
Yeah.
melody maker that he's. And I think you did that just because was it the tone or was it the weight?
Mainly, I got
Gotta
neck
lean in a little,
problems.
Kevin, when you're up there. Sorry.
I got neck problems, and that's a really light guitar. So
Yeah.
that's just what I play now. And the short scales, these are on my wrist.
You've made friends with it. Let me tell you what.
But his brother doesn't play the guitar, which I find odd that his brother
No, he
builds into
never-
these guitars and does not.
He
play
always
a
said he was going to
guitar.
learn, but never followed through. But
I find that's a crazy.
To build a guitar and not play them does seem a bit odd,
Yeah.
but yeah.
You know what Carl does now? He fixes clocks. That's what he does.
But he also can't tell time. It's just the same way with the guitar thing. It's the craziest thing.
I left the door open for
Yeah,
that.
sorry.
Poor Carl.
Carly's like, hey, a digital clock, but these things are working good. Whatever they're supposed to do, they're doing.
I'm just still wondering why you whipped out a picture of your wife when you said your dishwasher was broke. I can't get past it anyway.
I know she's not listening, so that's okay. That's right. That's fine. We're good.
Oh, man. So, let's get back to something real here. So 4 years ago, you guys were on this show. You said you were working on making an album. You've been through 10 producers and 25 studios since then, but you finally settled on. Well, I don't know if any of that's true.
It's not far off, but it's pretty accurate.
Who is it that you're finally working with? Greg?
Yeah. Greg Morrison, and he's actually done a lot of recording, and we did some stuff too, and it's like it's you kind of want someone who's more experienced at mixing things, and it's difficult too because sometimes you don't know. At least for me, I can't speak for you guys, but you don't know like what sound you want. Like we've gone to places where maybe they're recording you, and then they'll ask you, well, what is it you're looking for out of this mix? I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean, it's like getting my transmission fixed. I just want you to fix it. I don't want you to, I don't know what goes in it, and I just need it to sound better, or work better, And so, but Greg definitely knows, what he's doing, and so things are working out pretty good there, I think. But
I usually start when they say that with, you hear how I sound? Can you fix that?
Can you make it sound like someone else?
Right, the
That
rest
can
of
sound
it.
good.
Me sound good.
Why does it sound so bad?
Yeah, that's a nice scratch track. No, that's the final. Oh, okay, yeah. I guess.
So, another thing about that is not only someone who maybe knows the ins and outs of the frequencies and the EQs and all this, but even the engineering part. When you're so many bands do it themselves recordings, and man, is it awesome because when we were all kids, you couldn't afford to go to a studio unless you took a loan out from the mob or sold drugs. and like I remember, like the first recording I did, we split. You had to rent a 4-track for a month. And who could afford that? So you'd split it. You get 2 bands, and you get it for 2 weeks, and come on, what do you got to,
That's tough.
With the new equipment, you can actually make good do-it-yourself projects, but when you're doing the engineering and plugging in, and then you're still trying to just play the song and be in the moment of the song, but really you're thinking, oh man, wait a minute, I'm thinking about my signal path. Did I hook that up right? Are those needles bouncing over there? You know, you shouldn't be thinking about any of that. You should be thinking about, you know, the fact that you're singing this lovely song about your dog or whatever it is that you're singing about.
Or whatever. No, the other thing, too, it's also nice to have somebody who can tell you to just stop, to be done, you know. and you think about that. I always think about, you know, my grandfather built the house that my dad grew up in, and I remember him telling me that his dad had said to him once, don't ever build your own house because you're never done with it. You're always working on it. And I think, you know, you talk about making alcohol. I remember making beer, and I would always want to tweak something. And music is that way. You'd be writing a song, and you go, you know, well, maybe I can do this, or I can make that better, I can sing it better, or maybe we need harmonies. And to have someone else that goes, you know what, no, we're good. We're doing one, you know, we're done making tracks. You know, it's nice to have that, because if you don't, then you can just keep
50
going.
bass tracks. And
Oh, yeah. Because you always think you can make it better or layer it better. And,
and there's no such thing as perfection either.
No.
I mean, you're gonna do it.
Could you tell my wife that? Could you?
Oh, she already knows.
Oh, she knows.
As does mine.
She knows oh so well.
Yeah, he's honest too, and that's something that you need to keep the recording process moving.
Oh, I think so too. Because
Greg. Really? Because last time I saw him, he said I was looking good, and I thought, you liar. Me and you both know. We both know I look like hell. I've been on a 3-day bender.
No, but it is because, you lay down a track, and you're like, I think I can do that better. Be like, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not getting any better than that, buddy.
Yeah, we're all falling into that, too.
Shake it off.
Yeah.
So you're down to sprinkling some vocals. This has been a 20-year project. Tilt was still open when you wrote this when you first started this program.
Tilt?
Yeah,
That's correct.
You were playing Dragon's Lair as the words appeared. I don't know.
That is sad. I mean, it is sort of funny because we'll actually do that song, and then you look out and you realize, when you're looking at, like, some of these people have no idea what some of these are. Just it's and of course that song, I have to give props to Ryan Grant who is gone now.
Rest his soul.
And but he came up with all those arcades and just wrote them all down and made them rhyme, and so we kind of made the song out of that. But but most of these games, like Mr. Do, and I mean, what is this? And Moon Patrol. These people have no idea what these games are
or what Tilt is.
That's
true.
I mean,
the young people are like, what does he mean tilt? Is that the ride at the Tilt-A-World? What are we talking about?
That's true, but and really those arcade things are just a niche that people around our age group even get anyway, because my parents, they don't, they know what Pac-Man is, but they don't care, and my children don't care. They've got the Nintendos and all these things, so really it's just us that kind of get that anyway. So
how hot was Miss Pac-Man when she first came out? I mean, not in the later years, but when she first came out,
she really let herself go about 1999.
She was eating them ghosts by the handfuls. I don't know.
She put on a lot of Pac-Way.
You're gonna let the eating ghost thing go by? We're just gonna let
set that one up for you.
I thought there was going to be a Patrick Swayze joke for sure.
No. I mean, you gotta, when your games aren't selling, you gotta do what you gotta do. I totally understand.
Oh, okay. Now I just got Demi Moore in my head. Geriatric, whatever.
That's
anyway,
terrible.
I know it's horrible. It's not easy to shake that out.
I'd rather have Patrick Swayze in my head, I think.
Those tight pants all pressed up and go.
I'm telling you what, yeah.
Roadhouse.
What is going on?
Arguably the greatest film ever. But
hey, Jeff Healey was in that. That was a good part.
He was.
Jeff Healey. God rest his soul. Why is everyone gone that we keep talking about? But Jeff Healey.
I actually got a Jeff Healey guitar pick with his name in it when I worked at Keishi. I was moving the old turntables, and there was one underneath there, and I'm like, how long has that been there? Right. It was one of the Dorito picks, though, so I ate it. But it was.
One thing about Jeff Healey, when he says he feels you, he really does.
Yeah.
Ouch. I'm not sure. And now I got a Lionel Richie video in my head. I don't know what's going on in my head.
This is a tough room. It really is a tough room.
I don't know if you ever saw Jeff Healey's wife, but he didn't.
When you ate the Jeff Healey pick, could you see afterwards?
I could. Actually, I couldn't for 3 days, so I don't know what's going on.
These are terrible. This is terrible. Terrible. Sometimes terrible's funny. Someone's got to be the butt of the joke, right?
If everybody's laughing, somebody's got to be crying.
Yeah, I've heard that before,
where's
but
the
I don't
Helen
believe
Keller
it.
jokes that we used to when you were
Was
kids,
she even real?
No.
No, totally
Not
make
at all.
believe.
That's
She was
made up.
made up so people could make these jokes.
You ever
Right.
see her do Morse code?
I know. You know why her dog ran away? You'd run away too if your name was. I mean,
Oh my
thing,
gosh!
nobody's
these are
listening.
terrible
Listen.
things to say.
Hey, have you never seen The Miracle Worker? You're acting like it's all a joke.
And it was Patty Duke in that movie?
Like there's only people like older than us even know what we're talking about. And there's very few of them left at this
I
point.
know, and they're
so-
going Patty Duke and Patty Duke. I mean,
I'm certain we're going to offend the dozens of listeners we have tonight.
yes, all the Helen Keller historians out there are like, no, she did not have a dog named. That is not true.
Some things, apparently there's some things you're not supposed to make jokes about. I didn't receive the memo or the list, so I don't know. I was making Anne Frank jokes earlier, and people were getting all over me. And it's like, it's not my fault. She's got 4.5 stars on Google Review. Who gives the Anne Frank house a bad review is all I'm thinking,
That is terrible.
Like,
It's terrible.
I took my kids to the Anne Frank house, and my friends are like, "Don't you think your kids are a bit young for that?" And you know what I learned? Yeah, they are. They're way too young for it.
Most certainly are.
Dad, is there any video games here?
Yeah, there's just certain things that kids just don't care about.
None of that's even true. I went to the Anne Frank house thinking I'd get a hot dog. I wasn't even sure what was happening. All right.
Ouch.
We should move on and get back to
I should have known he was
That's a tough round. It's really a tough
You
round.
were doing Helen Keller jokes. I thought Anne Frank could go in there. I
Well,
wasn't
she's
sure.
not a real person. No, she was a real person. She was and a wonderful person too. All right, wonderful.
How would it have if
Inspiration to
what
all
if
of us.
what if Helen Keller would have been in the Anne Frank house and they couldn't have told her to quiet down?
I know. They're like, you need to shut up. I'm sorry. What? You need to be quiet. I can't hear you.
Poor Jim. Look at the horrified look on Jim Fox's
Bad.
face.
This is bad.
I know.
He's
It's,
he looks so uncomfortable.
you be quiet. It would be terrible.
His butt's watertight like a frog right now. he's so cinched up over there.
He's related to Helen Keller. This is upsetting. Man.
All right, so hey, we're talking to Agents of the Free. That's the band that's saying all this stuff. If you guys
no.
want to know.
I think it's Mr. Neil, his voice that you're hearing right
Talking
now.
about their new album, Helen Keller Lives.
Okay.
Anyway,
So
We'll be out to,
With the new hit song.
they're going to be a red flag on March 13th doing all this same material.
so everyone will be there to protest. That's the 13th. The signs will be out.
See you there. Bring the kids. Fun for all.
At least we'll have a crowd this time.
Yeah, they can
Not
throw
it-
things at us too. Yeah,
Not inside, but outside. There's going to be a crowd.
crowd out there.
Oh man!
Take them any way we can get them.
This is why
well.
This is why Doug Bush wouldn't come.
Right.
right,
is
he
why-
knew what was going to happen.
He's like, I swear I don't know these guys. I swear.
He's like, my grandfather was at Auschwitz.
Nah, shit. Wait, I knew his grandfather.
Don't
Hold
take
on,
the bait.
Yeah.
His grandfather
this.
was at Auschwitz. He was a train driver.
Oh,
There was at that zoo down the street. There was a kids. That was more at that city than one thing. You people act like it was one thing at that city. I don't know. Let's get back to talking about the agents of the free.
We're all going to hell for this.
So, Mr. Neal, Mr. Wade Neal, you think many of your students are listening to this show right now? And
Probably not.
do they have any respect for you at this point?
I bet he didn't tell him.
If they did already, I don't know.
So seriously though, are you doing like any like Alton's getting ready to go back to in school? Have you been doing any in school, or has it been all online so far this year?
We call it hybrid.
Hybrid.
We get
I
a certain
get it.
number of kids.
I got
per
some
day.
plants that are hybrid. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, let's talk about that off mic.
We can talk about it on mic. I don't care. Anyway, so you've been doing
It's
the
legal
hybrid.
now. We can talk about it.
Now we see a certain number of kids every day, and Fridays are all online. So tomorrow I'll be in the classroom all by myself, just looking at a screen. It's pretty
Nice.
surreal.
So I can totally understand art online. I mean, watching Bob Ross, it's the same thing, right? Make a happy little bush.
You know
how
what? There's-
violent he was? It's crazy. Anyway.
There's something
He was a
about
drill sergeant.
Yes.
There's something about being in front of a camera that kind of turns your voice into this Bob Rossian kind of tone. Because all of a sudden, when I get the kids on the screen, all of a sudden I feel like I sound like Bob Ross. Yeah, it's exactly like that. I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay, so now I got to go to my next question. PE, how do you do that online? And do you get the same Bob Ross voice when you're like, okay, let's do some happy little jumping jacks over here?
Let's do push-ups, everyone.
It's more like, no.
You probably go into Richard Simmons at that point.
So you mean his normal voice? Is that what you're saying?
Awesome, yes.
I wish. No, well, it was Bob Ross when he was a drill sergeant's where I go.
Did
you know that Bob Ross is a drill sergeant?
Yeah, that is great.
So I'd say it's more like Bob Ross drill sergeant kind of.
Again, though, you have to understand, once somebody says something that sends my brain off, all I'm thinking right now is, why did he make Sweatin' with the Oldies 2? Was there some people who didn't get enough of Sweatin' with the Oldies 1? I mean, was there really a cry out for? Anyway, we'll move on.
Go to that cash cow as many times as she can give you.
You ever see Richard Simmons when he was on Howard Stern's show and tried to play all serious? Had a mustache and tried to be all manly. It was really funny. Anyway. I thought for sure you guys would have seen it. Come on, man. Did you ever watch the old Howard Stern show that was on Channel 11, the TV show?
Oh, yeah.
It would come on at like 3 in the morning on Sundays or whatever. It was on that show. It was the Channel 9 show, they called it. But, man, what a great...
That was way back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
But not as long as ago as Friday Night Videos. You guys remember that?
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me?
Stay up late.
Or Night Flight.
You know,
Night Flight.
You know,
Night Flight.
You
don't remember Night Flight?
No, I don't.
Jim is the youngest member of our band, by
They've
the way.
got some of that on YouTube.
Point that out,
You can
that he
check
doesn't
out
get
Night
these
Flight on
references.
YouTube a little bit.
Okay.
So like kids this day don't even understand the idea that you had to see Dukes of Hazzard, you had to be home at Friday at 7 p.m. or if you wanted to, who didn't want to watch Charlie's Angels? At least 2 out of 3 of them. Anyway,
Word.
You pick whichever 2. I don't even care. Kate Jackson's ugly, but anyway, no. I didn't say
She got better when she got older.
Didn't they all?
Well, no, man.
Not Farrah Fawcett.
Poor Farrah there at the end. I mean,
but you got to admit, in that Burning Bed, she was in that Burning Bed movie. When she's trying to clean off after the horrible scene where the guy attacks her and she can't wipe off that dirt. It's just
the stank of love.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Well, that was that whole Lifetime in the '80s. It was like Lifetime was nothing but like men treating women bad movies, and it was all Meredith Baxter and Farrah Fawcett. I loved that.
Poor Meredith Baxter Bernie was raped to death in every film.
Relegated to the Hallmark Channel.
I like to call Lifetime the tortured women's channel.
Yes, exactly. No wonder she became a lesbian. I mean, all the men abused her, and so many
Men are Pigs channel.
That's true.
I love that channel. Anyway, so you guys are making an album.
We are making an album, and
It's going to be called Agents of the Offensive.
That's right. The Helen Keller Benevolent Fund.
Agents of the Band.
We've covered a
We'll
lot.
follow thereafter.
We've covered a lot of ground here. Helen Keller to Meredith Baxter. It's been a fun ride.
this is all material. We're going to be. Where do you get ideas for songs? I don't know. Just crap comes to you. I don't know if you ever do that with songs.
What do you think's
too.
funny, Helen Keller?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Like that. That's kind of funny. No, but sometimes and some songs people write are so like serious. They have all these meanings, and it reminds me of all this turmoil I went through. And then sometimes you're just throwing words down because you have a sweet little riff, and you're like, whatever comes out. So. Yeah. And then you later try to explain, like, no, what I really meant by clowns in the sky, I was thinking of, like, gosh, I don't know what I was thinking, it just came out.
It rhymed with by and by.
At the time it did, and like, it doesn't make any sense, does it,
When I write songs, when I write down songs, it's never because I want to preach to somebody or I think my ideas are right, but they rhyme. So,
yeah.
Sometimes.
So I do it. I haven't had a good idea
ever for me sometimes.
Ever. So so you guys hoping to finish up with Greg Sunday? Is that right?
I don't know. We'll completely. I don't know if we'll get all the, but yeah, probably 1 or 2 more
It
sessions.
won't be Sunday because I was serious that I couldn't make it.
Yeah, you turd.
Oh, come on! I thought that was a joke. We were making fun of people like you at that time. Going to finish up with Greg with the recording, and then who is he doing all the mixing, mastering?
I think so, and then I believe that I'm sure he's going to run that by us, and again, I'll just sit back and go, whatever you guys think. I mean, it's kind of the way I'm going to play it. So we'll see.
I'm imagining Wade Neal's going to do the artwork for the cover.
I would hope. We're actually working on that. We have a title to the album. It's called 10 Cent Beer Night. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but this was it an Indians game? It was a baseball game.
I think it was.
I forget the year, but it was a promotion that they did where they sold beer for 10 cents, and that went about as good as you would imagine that would go.
Which was not good.
Which was, and I don't know why I find that funny, but I find it kind of funny. So that is the title of our.
But that, 10 cent beer night isn't that big. Like, they used to have 10 cent lady night at Granny's Rocker. The guys all had to pay full price, but unless you knew a girl who'd get you a drink for 10 cents, which is what I always did. Hope Rollins ain't listening.
This was men buying beer for 10 cents. So bad idea.
There's a reason that they charge us more.
It's
to keep the peace. I can't afford to get drunk on $12 beers, but I could maybe get drunk on a $3.
What the heck,
Just bring me a keg.
Yeah, I've got a sawbuck. There we go. I'll be fine. Just keep it coming.
Can you after a while the belligerence starts and guys did bring rolls at dimes, and the poor guys, cold beer here, just getting dime rolls thrown at them. Give me 10 right.
That's how it went. That's exactly how that went.
That's a hard job too. Like walking those stairs of a stadium. I never sold cold beer, but I used to sell the butt scratchers. Butt scratchers, hey, get your butt scratcher. Not an easy job. You don't get a lot of tips, but
you know what? I'm gonna let it go.
No, you were gonna say? No tips.
That up for you.
I know. I said no tips, and he was about to say the tips my favorite part. What do you mean no tips?
No, it was.
That's not what you were gonna say.
The image of you just scratching people's butts.
Hey, we've all got to make a living.
Everyone's got to make money,
Look, we've all got our places in this society. Nobody wants to clean up the puke at a middle school, but someone's got to throw the sawdust down.
Someone's doing that. I'm sure that's not Mr. Neal, but someone's doing it. Right. Is there someone you call? Who you call for that sawdust thing? You go.
That's not my department. I don't know.
There's not something like you don't have the sawdust hotline. There's not the there's some sawdust over here or whatever that garbage is that you throw down.
I'd call Matt Van Boers for that. I call him for everything.
We got an insurance claim on this floor over here. There's at least 20 cc of puke. It's not even that much.
That counts as a mention, but
that counts as a mention. And something about helping. There we go.
So, but folks, when you call him, don't call him for sawdust. I don't think.
No, what you want to do is you want to call Matt about insurance, and if you do this, tell him, say, hey, I want the old school insurance treatment. I want you to come over to my house and drink coffee and bring a guitar and play me a few songs.
Right. And you could call him about sawdust, too, because then he knows that people are listening, right?
That's true, too.
Yeah.
If anybody calls him and says, I want to know about sawdust.
Maybe he'd work out a deal where he would come and listen to you play a song. Right. Well, you know what? If you want my business, you're going to have to listen to at least 3 tunes.
Mention sawdust for 20% off.
Jim doesn't say much, but when he does, it's pretty funny.
He's like E.F. Hutton.
That's right.
We call him the silent assassin.
That's right.
He sits there quietly, but watch out.
He just swoops in and cleans up.
Oh, man.
Halpin fixes things, too.
They do.
There's their mention.
They
do.
They fix all kinds of instruments. They fix your
TVs.
They fix TVs. Yeah. They fix your issue with not having an instrument.
Does anyone fix TV? Halpin's actually one of the reasons I wanted to learn how to play the guitar. If you guys remember, in the 80s, Halpin's had the sound spot.
Right.
And I remember going there, and this was, of course, in the 80s was the
they had a Miss Pac-Man, I think.
I went in there to play Miss Pac-Man.
When she looked hot.
She was, God love her. I just stared at her for hours. No, but the neon colors of the guitars back then, you remember the hot pinks and the yellows and stuff. And I remember looking at these, and I couldn't play one, and I was embarrassed to even pick one up. And so later it made me want to learn how to play the guitar. So if I was ever in front of a guitar, I could actually pick one up. Right. And I'm still trying to learn to play the guitar.
I love Halpin music.
I still am embarrassed to pick a guitar up in front at a music store because everybody, there's 10,000 guitar cases in this town, and every one of them play better than me.
Every one of them. And, so, and like a little 10-year-old shredding, and I'm like, that's not me.
Yeah, so it's like I remember like picking up a guitar and like going, I know a Dead Kennedy song. And like somebody's over there,
like the Ramones.
Yeah, and there's some cat 10 years younger than me, like over there picking Blackbird and some Blackbird singing in the. I don't know. I'm just done.
That's what Halpin was great. That's why the sound spot was great because if you walked in there, they opened themselves up to you, and they didn't care if you couldn't play or not.
Yeah.
I remember. I hope Larry still works there, and I'm pretty sure he does. I think he does. He takes care of the school's
cable.
Instruments. Yeah, yep. That's him. Mm-hmm. He sold me my first guitar, the first one I bought. I made Mexico Fender Strat. There.
It was yesterday,
and it was. This was probably 89 or 90. And
class of '89, shout out.
Here. They had.
Sorry, Jim.
He sold me a guitar. I was like, I don't know if I can. And of course, he sold me one that I couldn't afford at the time. But that's okay because what they'll take your. You can just pay it off on time.
Yeah.
And
put a little something on it.
He's like, you know what? You need an amplifier too. And I was like, I do?
Yeah, sure you do.
And so I went out of there $1,000 in debt, and they gave me as long as I needed to pay it off. And
what do you think a lot of money is?
Is this going to cost a lot? I don't know.
Well, you made $4 an hour. $1,000 was a lot of money. But he did a great job, and I've been going there ever since.
Yeah, my first guitar payment was $5 a week. Mm-hmm. And that was my lunch money, $5 a week. So it worked out perfect. Yeah, lunches at East were 95 cents, and I learned to panhandle nickels to get 95 cents to get a lunch. Because everybody had a nickel, right? Yeah. So my mom would give me $5. I'd give that
this guy
to my
panhandle
guitar.
Quarters.
Oh wow!
Well, that was high school, and then nickels wouldn't work by the time it was. You needed more.
Well, by high school, I was having to do way more than that. I don't want to talk about it.
You got to do what you got
to do. What happens in the back pit stays in the back pit.
That's what I'd be like. Please give me a quarter, or I have to do something else. And I don't want to go out where Scrappy's at in the smoking pit behind the Olin building.
Oh my gosh! It was I still think fondly of the janitor. I just called him Bill. I don't know what's going on here. I feel like somebody else should talk other than me. Is all I really feel like.
We're talking about high school. I don't remember this. Did you play music in high school? I really don't recall.
I played music, but I didn't go to high school.
And I do. I don't remember seeing you a lot in school. No, I don't remember that. But I just didn't know if you played back then.
I remember seeing you a lot in middle school.
Yeah,
not necessarily high school.
Middle school was a completely different game, man. Like middle school, everybody was friends, and the day we showed up to high school, it seemed like the very first day, everybody split up into groups and was talking smack on everybody else. And it's like, what is going on? But the musicians seemed to be like the most down to earth, realistic folks to me, and so I really kind of levitated to them. Not all of them, but the artists seem to be artists are always kind of the preachers of the streets and the real folks. So I did play music, but just like now, not well. not well.
I've seen a lot of guitar players that are so good that they make it look easy, and I would say that I make it look hard. People watch me play guitar, and well, playing guitar's got to be tough. Look at this guy's struggling.
It's like he's in pain.
No, it's like he can.
I've actually had the best offer I've had to be a professional musician is a bunch of cats in Nashville have been like, dude, if you will come down and play, you make it look so hard, a lot of people will quit, and they don't want the competition. They're like, they think I'm going to weed out a lot of competition for them because they're like,
you could be right.
Are you strangling your guitar? Why are you holding it so white knuckling it? That's just the way my guitar plays.
Modern style,
Right.
I know.
Because I'm angry about nothing. I don't know. Anyway, well, hey, so Agents of the Free is for real. They are going to be over at the Red Flag on March 13th, doing all the great Meredith Baxter stick and Helen Keller stick you've been hearing.
We might skip some of that and just play some tunes. I don't know.
Really?
Maybe we might. I don't know. I really don't know.
See how much time we got.
But well,
we'll see what we can work in. Right?
I do want to say this. We mentioned your song Tilt, but that's not my favorite of your songs. See, because remember line dancing was so big in the 80s, like in Cahoots, the big old bar had line dancing night. I have invented a line dance for your song.
Which song?
a black belt in karate.
Oh God, love it.
It's
the black.
to be honest, it's the same dance I did to kung fu fighting when I was a kid. So it's not a new dance, but it's the same. But
Black Belt. Black Belt is a Jim Fox original production.
I absolutely
Didn't have any
love
words
that one.
though. I mean, that's this guy here.
Well, but you know that
I
song
just had
too.
the concept.
Yes, you did.
I'm the concept guy.
So
That's it.
here's the thing about that song. We talked about tilt and how, not to say it's dated, but like the young kids are like, "What's a tilt? I don't know." And what's a Mr. Do? Is that a euphemism? And here's the thing. Here's the thing about the Black Belt song. You sing about the Cobra Kai. A lot of people might be like, "What's a Karate Kid?" But they got a new thing on Netflix, the Cobra Kai. It's modern now. You guys should have that song on there.
Well, you know what's ironic is actually that song came out before that Cobra Kai show came out because
I know
because we were actually talking about like I think you had said you didn't see the Karate Kid or something one time. Like when we first started messing with that
Not
song.
all the way through.
He's like, I don't think I watched that. How do you get halfway through the Karate Kid? You know, like I saw part of it. I was like, I don't care how this turns out. It doesn't matter to me. This guy may win. He may die. I don't care. I got
wax
gum to
off.
chew. Things to do.
I got gum to chew.
Is that the one where he battles Steve Vai in the end?
I think it is.
Different movie. That's Crossroads.
You know,
I've seen that one.
I
waited till the end. It was awesome.
This is Nelson Mandela.
Steve Vai was beating him until he did that roundhouse kick in the face, and then he was like, clearly you're the better guitar player.
Is Nelson Mandela in that one?
It was yeah.
Oh, is that Morgan Freeman? I don't know.
I don't know.
I just call him Freckles.
Crossroads. Great movie. Ry Cooter playing for him, too.
Yeah, Ry Cooter doing the actual.
I couldn't remember who the
Ralph
real
Macchio
players
plays
were.
You telling me Ralph didn't really play that?
Ralph did not play that. That was Riley Cooter playing.
Oh, yeah. And he is the
going
man.
against Steve Vai, who's both of them monster guitarists.
Yes. So there's this great clip with Steve Vai. You can look it up on YouTube where he's talking about when he went to try out for Frank Zappa. And, I mean, okay, so, Steve can do whatever, but Frank's pushing him. All right, now do that. Now add a fifth. Now stretch down, add a second, until he physically just couldn't do what Frank was asking. And Frank's like, thanks. I hear Leonard Rodstadt's down the road looking for a guitar player.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Frank's tough.
That guy was
but
kind of a see you next Tuesday.
Yeah. Vi said okay and started to walk away, and Frank's like, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Come on back. Just making sure you can take a joke.
Yeah, that was after he sent him the tablature for Blackpage.
Right, which what, you need tab for that? I just play it by ear.
No, I just make it up on the fly.
Blackpage is an intense piece of music. Yes. I would never I wouldn't even attempt to play that. So anyway, enough stroking Frank Zappa's ego long after he passed.
God rest him.
God rest his soul.
How does it keep coming back to dead people? What's going on?
Well, because now we're going to talk about the basketball diaries. All the people who died. They're all my friends. I don't.
We used to play that song. It's been a while. Yeah,
I actually rewrote that song back in 2000, and I wrote it, because all you got to do is after about 3 of your friends die, you just insert their stories, right. And let's take out where the guy gets killed by the bikers and put in where my friend took too many Tylenol.
But he died without a headache. God love him.
Yeah.
Pain free.
Pain free. So, so there you go. How do people find out more about Agents of the Free? Like, when is there any expected date on this album? Because we've been talking about it for 6 years, 8 years, 10 years. I don't even know. We got an expected date.
We're going to call it summer.
A couple weeks. Call it summer. I think it should be done by next Tuesday if you work hard.
I'm gonna, next Tuesday sounds good to me. But no, next Tuesday it's not coming out. All the mixing is definitely going to be done by this summer.
All right, I'll try and make it Sunday.
Sunday is my mother's birthday, and after lunch I'm going to make it to recording because it's important to me.
Sunday is my 25th,
and
What do you got?
Kevin Hand and his lovely bride will be married 23 years on Sunday. What are you doing
That
Sunday?
is-
You coming to record? He's
Hey, you know
that's
what?
commitment, Wade.
What do you think about that, Wade?
That's
So
just-
just put that in your back pocket there, buddy.
You know what? I'm going to say 23 years of sticking with that guy. That's commitment. Jeez almighty. My
Yeah,
God.
she's.
He's married to Helen Keller. She doesn't. She can't.
I
hear
definitely
him.
overmarried.
See him. She does. Yeah. he outkicked his coverage, but
Yeah, I say, I don't know what your secret is. I keep my wife drunk. I just hand her a martini as soon as she walks through the door. Here, take 3 of these real quick.
there you go.
And-
There you go. No, Kevin's a good guy. He's all right.
Yeah.
Kevin, any relation to John Hand from Halpin Music?
His father and my father share a relation. Nothing.
Share a relationship.
It was not
This just got
necessarily
weird.
Go easy now. There's relation there, but it's very distant.
Okay.
We both know of each other. Yes.
I just had to get a
John.
Halpin
Oh, yeah.
mention in, so I thought I'd give it a hand.
I
This
know
guy,
I
it's-
heard that.
It's
wrong.
like he's a professional.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's totally
No,
polished.
he's so unprofessional. Someone has to be the other.
He's
side.
got to put the shine on it, doesn't he?
Because seriously, I thought I heard him just say we milked each other, and I was trying to think, how do I comment on that?
I teed it up. I don't know what else you need.
And that leads us back to Kevin's marriage, and it'll be 23 years.
23 years. And
3 years.
There we go. Hey, so big thanks to our guest. It is Agents of the Free. Doug Bush didn't come because he's just Doug Bush.
He's a slacker.
You know what? I know. I guarantee it. He's home playing on Bush Fest right now. He's working hard, guys.
He probably is.
Could be.
Yeah, he is. Anyway, we've got Brian Keith, Kevin Hand, Jim Fox, and Wade Neal and Bob. Now, Wade
Mr. Neal.
Mr. Neal, Mr. Neal to all the children out there.
All the little children.
Yeah, so I say you throw it out like Bob Ross this year, man.
Okay.
Painter's got to paint, right?
There are no mistakes.
Playing drums and
Just
having
happy
the, weave,
accidents.
the thing bobbing up and back
Dude,
and
you
forth.
look like Carmen Apiece back there. It'd be awesome. He was the drummer for like Rod Stewart. Just I don't know. He was
Right.
big. He was a great drummer. He drummed for a whole lot of people.
for everybody.
Everybody, but he had a big old.
With hair like that, yeah. No
Yeah.
kidding. That's how you got gigs.
Sure, man.
It doesn't hurt you can play drums, but you're going to look really, really cool on stage.
I dug his fro.
I fro your Doug. Dig. All right. Hey, thanks again to the guys from Agents of the Free. They're going to be at Red Flag March 13th. Where do people find out? My Facebook?
I think it is on the Facebook, yeah.
It's on the Facebook.
It's on the Facebooks. I think there's a Facebooks thing out
Are
there.
we on the Twitter or the Grinder?
I know Hookie's going to be out there. It'll be fun to play with Graham and those guys again. And
Are they going to be at the Red Flag show?
but they're
and
playing at that
and
show
who else?
also.
There's somebody else going to be there.
There's a band called POW Junior 72. I believe.
Yes, we PO 72, POW Junior 72.
POW Junior 72.
Yeah,
That's right.
POW is his initials or whatever. We've had them on a few times in the past. So,
Yeah.
So,
we've had Hookie on once. We don't let him come back.
yeah, I don't blame you. Those guys.
Graham's a busy guy.
Those guys.
So yeah,
Busy, yeah.
and just so we finish this weekend, get out there and
Oh, yeah,
support.
yeah. We didn't do Saturday, did we?
Yeah, let's do Saturday.
Yeah, I totally
Borderline
forgot about
Acoustic, 2 to 6, and Shotgun Creek, 8 o'clock at Fast Eddie's.
Excellent.
The Sean and Mike Show, 7 o'clock at Baker's and Hale and
Sounds
Godfrey.
fun.
2-piece, 7 to 10 at Georgia's local brew in Jerseyville.
Not Tupac.
DJ Applebeats and DJ KC, 10 o'clock at the Franchise in Wood River.
All right.
Synergy, 3 to 7 at Grafton Winery. Beowulf, 9
Yeah.
o'clock at Patrick's in Granite City on Saturday.
There's a band that's been around a while.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And they've helped out a lot of up-and-coming bands.
Sure.
And if you look on your way out in the lobby of the studio, there's a book about Illinois that has a picture of Gretchen Wilson in it. But on the cover, it talks about Illinois KKK. It's a weird book. It covers a lot of ground in that book. So.
I was thinking you were talking about the Helen Martin picture, and I thought maybe she was related to Beowulf.
Helen Martin. She's hot.
Anyway,
Helen Blazes, they ought to
No
call
Helen
her.
Reddy.
also on Saturday, Steve Woolley, 6 to 10 at the Cabin at Judy Creek and Glen Carbon. Flip Side up in Staunton at Roosters at 8 o'clock. Our friends Money Shot, 8 p.m.
I love
at,
it.
how do you say that? 3RST. Thirst?
Thirst.
In Greenville.
There you go.
And future sponsor of the show now, Michael Kreider of Farmers Insurance. How about that?
There you go.
He's
man.
sponsoring our engineer, Alex HOOKiE, who took the day off because he knows now that he's got a sponsor, he has to show up.
Yeah, it's his last day he could take off without us giving him a lot of crap about it.
Exactly.
And then on Sunday, Borderline 1 to 5, the Truckers 6 to 10 at Fast Eddie's, Scott and Carl 2 to 6 at Grafton Winery, the Grand Band 2 to 6 at Wild Pickens in Chesterfield, Mo Pleasure 4 to 8 at Patrick's in Granite City.
Like that name too.
Jeremy Drake 2 o'clock at the Cabin at Judy Creek in Glen Carbon, and Dave Horton Acoustic Country 4 o'clock at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville.
We've had some good names, but I think Steve Woolley should change his name to Peter. Peter Woolley. Just a thought. Just a thought. Anyway. All right. Thanks to Agents of the Free for coming out.
Changing our band name now.
Thanks to our sponsors, Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance, who right now is like, Peter Woolley, he went too far. I'm pulling my sponsorship. Did any of you have George Van Voorhis as a teacher?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Matt's dad right there, George Van Voorhis. Todd Van Voorhis, you went to school with him? Me and Todd dated for a while, and no, that's not true. But if Todd ever heard it, Todd would be like, hey,
no judgment here, Scrap. It's okay.
He broke up with me. What?
Right.
Then there's his cousins.
Heard you were needy.
Eddie and Alex Van Voorhis.
Was one a drummer?
Yeah, one's a guitar player.
Yeah, but we don't know which is
Van
which.
Voorhis. I like that.
Yeah, you know it, man. So, hey, thanks to Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance, and thanks to Halpin Music, our longtime sponsor.
Van Voorhis.
Van Voorhis.
Remember him?
Into the Mystic, baby. Into the Mystic.
So I think that covers all the mentions.
That covers all the bases,
Once
too, right
you get
there.
Van Voorhis in, you got them all.
I think we can charge Matt extra.
No, I always
There's
do.
a
You
couple
don't know.
extra.
You don't know about it, but I milk him for an extra 10 every week. Literally, milk him for the 10. All right. Hey, thanks to everybody we already mentioned. Thanks to everybody out there listening, and everybody between now and next week, and when we talk again, get out and support local music and art.